What's up, man? Good to see you again.
You too. You guys are, yeah, it's good to talk to you.
It's been a minute. I think we have not had Mike Shinoda on KROQ for at least 3 days. When you dropped upon us some brand new, not new to you, but new to the rest of us, Linkin Park music. We're going to talk about the new song that you have that we just started playing yesterday on KROQ that you can also see in the new Scream movie, but that will come later. Let's just for a second pat you on the back. Lost is so effing good, man. And
thank you.
I don't know if you were expecting the reaction it's gotten. I mean, it's been a while, so I guess certain things don't age well. You see these movies now, there's like a warning up front that says there's smoking in this movie and there's terms that we don't use anymore. I feel like Lost has aged perfectly. Do you feel the same way? Are you shocked by the reaction?
Lost was a song, we were putting this thing together, this Meteora 20th anniversary, and we knew we had some good stuff. We didn't know, how good. We didn't know what the fans would think. But I came across Lost and a handful of other really good songs. By the way, songs with vocals, songs with rapping, songs with singing, guitars, like they're all of the Meteora era. And the Meteor 20 project, when it comes out, fans will get to check out all that stuff.
Does this make you rethink everything that you even trashed like decades ago? Like, we had this song and, one thing you think is awesome, and then the next day you're like, oh no, I don't know about this song. Let's throw it in the trash. Yeah. But now you're like, God, I got to rethink everything. Let's just release a whole album of the B-sides from 20 years ago.
Well, I the funny part is I did have, that was the conversation. I'm very, I lean towards the side of like, let's not put out anything unless it's great. Like I'm not going to just put out stuff just to put it out. And I wanted to know what we had before we committed to any of that. And yeah, the stuff, when I look back at it, the reason it didn't make it is because we committed in our minds, we committed to 12 songs on the record. And so that meant that everything else had to go, somewhere else. And Lost was actually probably the first in line to become a B-side on the Japanese release or release at a different time with a movie or something. And as the band moved on, by the time we got to the next album, Minutes to Midnight, our whole goal was to reinvent the band. So everything was about putting aside anything that we had done on Meteora and Hybrid Theory and doing something brand new. You can hear it on that record, but you can also understand that with that said, even though we had good songs sitting next to us, we wouldn't have used them because it wasn't about looking backwards at all.
And these were back in the days when Linkin Park was touring 340 of the 365 days of the year. It was like a new city.
We were touring. Yeah, it was definitely over 300 days. I mean, that's over 300 days and 365 out of 365 days. We were doing some days would be 2 shows in a day. We were constantly on the move. We were playing every day. It was aggressive, man. Very aggressive.
And then KROQ would call you and say, hey, can you pop up and do this random weenie roast or this acoustic? You're like, sure, we'll be there. We can't say no to KROQ,
Yeah, we played first on I want to say it was Acoustic Christmas or something. First band of the night. The seats were empty. And then the very next one we headlined it.
That's amazing.
I think that what's so fun at this moment is, having, as you kind of mentioned before, I do have a new solo song out this week as well. And to be able to do something brand new and something backwards looking, to look forward and backward at once, it almost it accentuates the differences and it also allows you to see the similarities. You can still, the DNA of the band and what I do is present in both of those. So I feel so strongly it's present in both.
In My Head is a great song. We're about to play it right now in KROQ. We started playing it yesterday. We're going to talk all about it. But it all started when we first heard you were going to team up with the Scream movie and do this song. It all started with you answering an unknown number. In your real life, do you ever answer block numbers? Do you? Because I would imagine a lot of famous people. So for me, a block number is always someone telling me solar power. But for you, it could be someone super important.
I never answer block. I'm
Because
like,
you're a
so
smart
no,
person.
I never do. I never do. And I think what you're referring to, we had a bunch of stuff on some really funny videos on the socials that we were allowed, got the green light to do some stuff with Ghostface from Scream.
Yeah.
And got like official, to do that stuff. It's interesting because Ghostface is such an iconic character that they actually have like very specific ways that they want to see Ghostface used, and they provide you with actual like voice clips and video that they've shot on their with the official costume and their lighting and cameras and all of that. It's all very controlled.
I didn't know Ghostface was such a diva.
I think that would make a really good SNL skit, actually.
It's like a long writer list. He's a total jerk.
I mean,
Well, I was
7
actually
types of knives.
These are
Right?
Japanese blades.
I need 4 gallons of pig's blood.
I was looking at, because I've watched all the Scream movies. I love Scream, and I've been following you guys for a long time. And Scream, the original Scream, came out in 1996. And you founded Linkin Park in 1996, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, man, here we are now. Mike Shinoda's doing a song for the new Scream. There's new Linkin Park. There's new Mike Shinoda. How did this all come about? You're finally together after all these years.
It's like a kind of a little bit of a full circle thing, especially when you think about, like, I do love horror movies. The first R-rated movie I ever saw was Nightmare on Elm Street 3. One of my favorite movies is The Shining, which I guess is not horror, but
no, that's always on my top for horror.
It's
people
it's
always
just,
disagree with me, but that's a top.
It's so good. And the first, I was talking to some because of this whole thing. I was talking about with somebody about the fact that when Scream 1 came out, they had Drew Barrymore in the ads and stuff and on the poster, and you were like, oh, I'm going to watch this movie stars Drew Barrymore, and you just assume that's what you're about to do. And then you watch it, and the very first thing happens is a killer. They kill the main character. You're like, wait,
man,
what?
I didn't see it yet, Mike. Come on.
Klein, you have missed your window.
Spoiler
So
alert,
the point
dude.
is that they set the bar very high from the very beginning. And I think because of that, they've always had to like contend with a very high level of like, maybe not scrutiny isn't the word, but like fans care very much about this franchise. And so for them to come back with, at this point, they kind of launched Scream with Scream 5, and now I think Scream 6, they've even hit their stride even more. Personally, just as a fan of it, I think it's really, really good. And I love seeing, like, by the way, it's like, you should have heard the screams from the fans for Jenna Ortega on the red carpet. Like, in case she's been living under a rock, like she played Wednesday, right? And then she's like gone viral a million times over. And yeah, she's one of the leads in the movie. When we were talking about potentially putting, I was going to produce 2 songs for the movie. One ended up being one with Demi Lovato, and one is my song. When we first started talking about, oh, Mike, will you do some stuff for the movie? And I was starting to see clips from the movie. Wednesday hadn't really happened yet. Like, Jenna wasn't quite as well known. She was on her way there, but like then I committed a thing, and then the Wednesday series blew up. And now we're sitting here like, I'm looking at these ads and they all have her face on it. It's just it's been a really crazy ride with this thing.
In My Head is great. We're going to play it now. It's got as you said, it's got all the sounds of kind of some vintage. You can hear a lot of, if you've been a Linkin Park fan for a while, or Shinoda solo stuff. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything, but it's very modern feel. It fits the vibe of the movie, this New York vibe. And we can't wait. Anything you want to tell us about it before we hit play on KROQ?
Only thank you to you guys, and thank you to the fans for sticking around for this long. It's unbelievable. And just really grateful.
Before we say goodbye to Mike Shinoda, we have time for just 2 epic questions. These are the most epic questions you will ever answer. Allie, give them epic question number 1.
All right, Mike Shinoda. When the aliens eventually land and make contact and say, hey, we're cool, we want to learn about humanity, what's the first movie you recommend to them, other than the obvious Scream?
Oh my God, it's killing me. There was a movie we were just talking about in the Linkin Park Discord. Oh, I could tell you what they made fun of me for was Grandma's Boy.
Mhm.
I was like, because I love that movie. Nobody
Uh-huh.
likes that movie. I mean, it's like such a random
Right.
thing. Yeah.
The first movie that aliens see on this planet is going to be
That would,
Grandma's
that's
Boy.
my, yeah, that's
Don't
going to be
write
my
that to
answer.
Mars.
It's the world's
Right.
worst. The most,
Actually,
talking
that'll
about
work.
epic. This is an epically bad
Epic question.
suggestion that the first thing they should see is basically this like stoner comedy about like guys who play video games, test video games for a living.
Epic question number 2, Mike Shinoda. Best breakfast cereal of all time. And if they asked you to write a jingle, would you do it?
I'm gonna go the nostalgia. This is not me from today, but young me is gonna say Fruit Loops.
Wow.
I was like, I just love Fruit Loops,
Good,
man, as a
dude.
kid. Did you guys like?
I ate all of them.
the
But
smell-
Captain Crunch
do you
is
have
still
like?
on top.
I have a visceral reaction to the smell of Fruit Loops.
You could smell it almost through the box. And when
Yeah.
you first crack that bag, it's perfect. It's like
Yeah,
perfect.
I get emotional.
And I have a huge nose, so they used to call me Toucan Sam. So I could hate Fruit Loops,
Amazing.
but I love
So
Fruit Loops.
Mike Shinoda will write the
Jingle,
jingle
and I'll
and
be
you'll
the
be
new-
on the cover of
I'll
the
be the new
box.
Toucan Sam.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I think Fruit Loops is an easy jingle to write. It already sounds musical.
Did they say that they're flavors of different Fruit Loops? They're all the same flavor, right?
Don't let Mike get started on this. This will take hours.
I wish I knew. I'd love to pretend that I'm like some Fruit Loops connoisseur. But I think you guys would see through that pretty quickly.
The next time you're here in the studio, we will make sure that there's a bowl on the ready. Mike Shinoda, the new song In My Head, we're going to play right now on KROQ. Of course, you've been listening and requesting a ton of Lost, which we've been giving you as well. Can't wait. I'm sure we'll talk to you again, hopefully, when you're out with the 20th anniversary album. But thanks for your time as always, dude. You're like family here. You know that. We have a room here for you. It's apparently your room. You can use it whenever you want. So if you ever get into a fight, you need a place to sleep, you can stay here.
I'm actually there. That's where I'm calling in from, right?
Oh, you're right there. Hey, there he
yeah,
is.
I'm right
Mike.
here. Well,
What's up?
I'll see you guys. Yeah, we'll hang out after this.
I'll see you in a few minutes.
The great Mike
Okay.
Shinoda. Thanks, dude.